Welcoming via Zoom is Akosua Dardaine Edwards. She is an author and founder of the Nina Young Women's Leadership Foundation. Welcome, Akosua.
Good morning. Hi, Dominic. Thank you
Hi.
for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. And we want to go straight into it, that feeling of not enoughness. I know you remember the TED Talk where you would have done, and you spoke a great length about that. Tell us about that feeling, and as International Women's Day approaches, we have all these celebrations about positivity and, the strength in being a woman and how good that is to be a woman. But there are some of us who may face challenges at this moment and might be struggling to see the joy and worth in celebrating this moment. Talk to us about that not enoughness.
Well, I think based on my own story, the not enoughness came from a couple of things. One, comparing myself to others. Two, not knowing who I am. And three, not defining what success was for me. So I started looking at what others were doing. I started wanting to do things to be a success, and it just did not seem like it was enough. I followed that formula that society gave us, where we go to school, we get a good degree or a good education, and then we move on. And it just never felt like it was enough. And so, what you have to keep in mind is all of us have our own journey and our own path. And we take time to accept and embrace not just our talents, but our circumstances and where we are. And we realize that this is where we're starting from. That feeling of not enoughness starts to go down, but it's a constant work in progress.
Right.
But if you continue to compare yourself, if you continue to not know who you are, if you continue to define success by other people's standards and society's standards alone, then you will always want to prove, you will always feel most times that what you're doing is not enough. And then if you don't have that tribe, I would say that village, that support around you, that affirms you, that also plays a big part in this not enoughness.
Yes.
And not enough, it will mash you up.
For sure, for sure. I mean, you said a lot there in terms of, understanding your value within yourself. So first, quieting all the noise around you. And, being on your own, being alone, sometimes could feel like the loneliest thing. Facing that man in the mirror, as they say, or in this case, woman in the mirror, could seem very daunting. Another thing that could seem daunting is that journey to unconditional self-love. It could seem like a really difficult one to do, especially because it's a journey where you go alone, and discovering who you are. It could be one of those difficult questions. Talk to us about that.
I think, if we take the time to discover who we are, I mean, it's a simple question, right?
Yes.
Who are you? But do we ever take that time to sit down and decide who we are without the things that we own, who we are without that belief and core values that our family gives us, or the church or the religion, etc. Who are we just without all of those things? I realize that in the pit of despair, which I should say,
Yeah.
because I lost all of those things that define success for me, and I was just left with me. So you have to ask yourself, do I even like me? Do I even know me? I even take the time every day to sit with my thoughts. And sometimes we have thoughts that sort of brutalize us because we accept them in our mind. But I think the first step towards that is defining who you are for yourself. What do I like? What brings me joy?
Yeah.
What I don't like? uh, am I feeling guilty for the things that people tell me about who I am? And a lot of times we don't spend that time with ourselves because we're busy chasing and proving, and we feel that we're not enough.
Right.
It's imperative on us to really take that time. And even if it's 5 minutes in the shower, I call the shower a temple sometimes because that's the time that you have to yourself, maybe in the bathroom or something. But giving that signal to yourself that I am going to take a few minutes for me starts you on the journey of knowing who you are. And people define self-love as how you look. A lot of times the capitalism comes in and we define self-love by the externals, how your nails look, how you look, etc. That
Right.
is hugely important. But self-love is an inside job. And that starts with you spending time getting to know you, getting to like you, and what comes out from the inside reflects on the outside. Because if you like yourself, the decisions that you make change
Yeah.
automatically.
Yeah, yeah. When you speak about, getting still and spending that time with yourself, I know one of the things that you champion is journaling, and you have a book as well that gives you that opportunity to journal. Talk to us about the importance of journaling and documenting that journey on self-discovery.
Yeah, I mean, I am a real advocate for it because of how it helped me heal. And the reason I think it helped me heal and I advocate for it is when you put things down on paper, one, it comes out of your head
Yeah,
because your head has so many thoughts and so many things swirling around. It comes out of your head and onto this paper, which is not judging you.
yeah,
You are just writing, or maybe even if you don't want to write, you can put pictures, you can color, you can express yourself on a piece of paper that does not judge you, that you can maybe say things or write things or draw things on the paper, which you wouldn't tell anyone, or
right.
you're not ready to tell anyone. And so for me, every day, I spend the time writing down the things that are in my head, what I want to express. And I know that on this paper, there's no judgment.
Yeah,
There, there is there is no one behind the paper telling me, no, don't do that or do this. The only thing that would be responsive is my thoughts.
yeah,
And that's me. And so I really used journaling as a way of healing, as a way of expressing myself, and as a way of, sometimes I would look on the paper and said, did I write that? It was just sometimes so shocking.
yeah,
It's sometimes in a great way and sometimes in a not so good way because it allowed me also to express anger,
yeah,
feelings of jealousy,
yes,
feelings of not enoughness. And as it came out of my head and onto that paper, then I turned the journal around into being grateful for what I have and grateful for the fact that I could express this. So I really advocate for spending some time journaling, and that all goes back to who are you? Do you
yeah,
like your do you
yeah.
know it? It all connects.
Yeah, and I guess when you spend time with yourself, you kind of figure out, okay, what am I dealing with? What emotion am I experiencing? And for some of us, we are experiencing grief, we're experiencing loss, battling sickness, depression, financial ills, stress. There's so many things that we are battling on a daily basis, and that can probably pose as a challenge for us really understanding our purpose and answering that question of why are you here. Talk to us about moving on from who am I to now my purpose and uncovering that.
Yeah, Dominique, one of the things that I have learned is life really takes the time to show us where we need to pay attention. And it's not personal.
Yeah,
really life saying to us, pay attention. Life is saying to us, do make this shift, make this turn. But because we insist on either having our own way, or we insist on becoming a success based on other people's standards, or we insist on being certain. And life does not specialize in certainty.
Yeah.
It delights in surprises. And so when we work with life, when we work with the universe, we get to see not just what our talents are, but we get to see why we are here. And sometimes the thing that we are really good at, that we would do without pay, the things we will do that brings us this level of peace and joy that you can't explain. It may not bring you $1 million, it may not bring you any awards, but it allows you to feel that feeling, and that translates into everything that you do and the people around you. So why you are here is because you have a purpose, and that purpose may not tie into anything more than making where you are better. If you
Right.
could bake a cake and somebody who you share that cake with becomes happy, you've changed your life. You've changed something.
Yeah.
And we forget that we stand on sacred ground wherever we are, because we have the opportunity to make a choice that supports us and supports others. So in determining who you are, the next question of why are you here comes naturally. And when you are comfortable in the fact that you are enough,
Yeah.
comfortable in the fact that you define what success is for you, when you come to that space, then you know why you are here, and you don't have to prove anything. There's nothing to prove,
Yeah.
and there's nothing to fear. And it's not going to be easier. It's not going to be easy because we have all of this noise around us, people telling us what we should do, what we shouldn't do, who we should. And you have to be strong and consistent in your practice to remember who you are all the
Yes.
time, everyday thing.
Yes, yes. And I know that to be true. It's a constant, everyday reminder to yourself, and rediscovering and figuring out. It's never a complete thing. You mentioned something just now, and I wrote it down. It said, life delights in surprises, which we know to be so true. Lives at times. And, in life, with those things that pop up and kind of derail us, on that journey of, okay, who am I? Why am I here? Sometimes we do get off course. And so we kind of ask ourselves, what now? So talk to us about that period of what now and moving on from there.
Yeah, I'll give you a story. So for me, I I kind of forgot that life delights and surprises, right?
Okay.
And I'm going along my life, and I think I was doing what I felt was right. I had my spiritual practice. I'm doing healing, eating as healthy as I could. And, and then what life reminded me of is there are no exceptions to the challenges that come to you. All of us, once we are born in this form, will encounter challenges, situations that remind us that all of the work that we were doing before, all of that journaling, all of that, spiritual practice is to use when the challenges come. Yes, the challenges will come. And I forgot that.
Yeah.
And so since this year started, a lot of things have been happening. Like, now what?
Yeah. Yes.
Now what? And what I've realized is the toolkit that I built with the journaling, with the knowing who I am and why I am here. That toolkit was to pull out, to fix or to change or to shift.
Right.
That's because, with a toolkit, you wouldn't use it unless something is, you need to
Fix
take to change.
something. Yes.
Exactly. And I forgot that.
Mm.
And so if it's one thing to remember, and if it's one thing I want to share, is build your toolkit.
Mm.
And your toolkit could include a playlist. You could pull out of that toolkit a song
Yeah.
to change your mood in an instant.
Yes.
Your toolkit could be the journal, your toolkit could be prayer, your toolkit could be in nature. What is in your toolkit? And this will determine when you hit these challenges, when you hit these obstacles,
Yeah.
now what?
Yes.
And in the toolkit could be how you feel your feelings, because you cannot go through it without feeling your feelings. You can't heal.
Yeah.
So what is in your toolkit? And I mean, some people, they automatically go into a mode where their toolkit, they take a hammer to put a screwdriver in, and it might work, but it would not be the optimum thing.
Right.
So in asking myself, now what? I had to go back and remember, one, that life is designed to show us where we are, good and not so good, and to have that toolkit ready. And you have to prepare yourself every day. So you're not exempt from the challenges of life. It's not a punishment. It's not something happening to me. So
Yes.
we do avoid the victim mode as much as possible.
Right.
It's really life saying to you, pause. Take that toolkit out. What should I be doing or not doing? What did I forget?
Yeah.
I still connected to who I am? Do I need to remember? And these are the things that we forget when we're in the midst of a challenge. Huh?
Yes, for sure.
We just want it to end. But on the flip side of that is something even better, because think about it, Dominique. You go through something really challenging in life, and you come to the other side and you realize, oh my God, I did that. And the surprise on the other side is so much better than you ever expected.
Yeah, it definitely makes going through the challenge, as difficult as it is, worth it. And that's very easy to say, having gone through the challenge, but it really makes you understand there is purpose in everything. There is not, it doesn't, happen to me and it's a surprise, it's that there is a reason why, there's a purpose. We want to thank you for joining us today and sharing. This is truly a powerful conversation with you. Before you leave, all these themes that we mentioned, these questions that we unpacked in this brief interview, are all addressed in your line of books. Where can persons get more information on you, on purchasing your books, on social media, on your website? Share that information with the listeners.
Sure. So the 3 books and the journal are all available on my website, AkosuaDardaineEdwards.com, Amazon.com, and I am on social media, Akosua D. Edwards, IG, Twitter, etc. And I really want to thank you, Dominique, for inviting me and having the opportunity to share my stories. And
Yes.
as international they come up, it's good to celebrate. And the celebration is a marker of where we are, and to remember how many women paved the way for us to be here, and we really stand on this holy ground. And
Yeah.
what we do for that celebration is important. It cannot just be tokenism.
Yes.
It meaningful, that pays homage and honor to the women who paved the way for us to be here right now.
Yes, absolutely. Well said. Thank you so much. We are going to a break. When we come back, we're talking more about International Women's Day and all of the activities that will be celebrated on that day. See you on the other side of the break.